So I'm trying to make a tutorial for the agent that I'm training to be specialized in day and night developer tools. And so in order for it not to hallucinate and understand exactly how it works, I will do everything from scratch, just import in a simple mesh. First I will create a new project. Here I prepared the textures I'm gonna use. Fortunately it's gonna fit, and I will not I prepared this. I could make another tutorial just for textures, how to create them in sampler, but problem is my sound card is limited. If I use too much processing on the CPU, it will eventually crash. The sound card stops, so that's a new project. I'm gonna create a terrain which is better than having a cube. I'm just gonna lock it. That's very standard first step, and I'm gonna take my here I have a filter on, so I'll take it, I press T so it's on the ground. Okay, we get our terrain, it's locked. Now, for any project in general, you need to check the engine is properly building the nav mesh. So you need to press here and check it before anything, because sometimes your tools are not synced, I don't know, and it may crash from the beginning, from the very start of your project, and then you can't recover. You don't have a nav mesh for your map, and it's when you spend hours, hundreds of hours on a project, and you realize at some point there's no nav mesh and there's no way to build it. It's dead. So I'm gonna try and focus and be effective in the video. So we make an asset. I'm gonna suppress the cube. This, I had a plane. I will scale it up so it's gonna be 8 there. S10. It's gonna be visually. So I'm gonna make a simple asset. It's gonna be a plane, and just so we can try many things, we're gonna try I'm gonna make two. One is gonna be with two materials, and I'm gonna subdivide, so later we can try out how vertex paint works. So it's gonna be the same asset twice. So when I am in Blender, I have to create a new material and I will call it specifically with I will create two materials, even for the simple. I'm not gonna do just one material because it's kind of easy to figure out. You should name your material something easy to remember. And because if you import hundreds of assets and they all have confusing names, it's gonna be very difficult to manage after all. So even I said here I put a material terrain. But I should as well go think ahead, and in the tools you can assign you will the mesh will have a material, and the material is managed by the skin file, and in the skin file it has a surface ID, and the surface ID it's better to say, for example, here it's gonna be material terrain, and the surface ID is gonna be gravel. So I can say it in the title, so later on it's gonna be useful to match the surface ID with just looking at the material name. I can know for sure what material it's supposed to be. It's a bit loud, this is music I made. It's unreleased. I just realized there is 115 songs not released, but they are all quite finished. So I don't know what's up with this. Anyway, I get it. Okay, material terrain, gravel, and I'm gonna give it the 0 number. So for the skin it's gonna be, I don't know, because there will be two materials, so I'm gonna call the first 0, the other, or maybe I should put the 0 before, like that. 0 material terrain gravel, and what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna select faces, and let's say this part is gonna be, no, this part is gonna be gravel. So I assign it, and I add another, I create a new material. I'm gonna call it 1 material cliff rock, or I should say cliff stone, because in the tools the material surface ID is a stone, so it's gonna be a bit easier. and here I control I again, so, and then I assign to it. Then now I make sure it's fine. So here we have this material, here we have this material. For the gravel, I'm gonna put an image texture, and I'm gonna open the things I made especially for this. So gray gravel is this? No, is this? Okay. So it's assigned here, and here I'm gonna do the same. Image texture, and I will open my rock. Okay. Okay, we have our two material. Actually, I'm gonna add some. I wanna have more rock than gravel, and I will explain after. So I'm just gonna assign it. So there's gonna be a little bit more rock than gravel, because later on I'm gonna use latex paint to make the transition only on the rocks. Anyway, here we have our asset with two materials assigned to it, and I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save the project actually. Yeah, you should have at least a number and a letter, because you're gonna have different types of planes. If I want to resize for this mesh and make a new version, then I can call the resized 102, and because it will fail many times, it's good to add a letter after, so you know this was your first trial, because it's A and so on, and then you can, because sometimes you work on an asset and you try it in the tools, and every time you need a different name, because the tools, it cannot handle same name again and again. It will make an error, it will show an error, and so yeah. Okay, I'm gonna save the plan file, then I'm gonna hit tab to go in object mode, and Control A, and I will apply all transforms, and then I can export as FBX. I made a shortcut, but that's for another tutorial, and I will export in my folder. Okay. So now back in the tools, I press plus, I go in import default, and if you put everything in import default, like that, it's gonna be a mess. You will have all your assets, all your machine, all your materials all together. So what I do usually is instead of importing like that, because afterward it's a mess to change the where you're gonna put it. Oh, I think I have this somewhere. I will make I should have thought of that before, but let's see. I think I have it. It's hard to comment every thought I have because it's complicated sometimes. So I hope you don't mind. Not sure it's there. We could use this one, it's a good one. No. No. Deal. Maybe I don't have it, so I'm gonna make a very quick tutorial. Right. What is this? Okay. Don't need that. I think this will fit better. The colors and the size is too big. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm gonna take that and open it in Photoshop. I'm gonna save as a DDS. A DDS file is for the tools. I'm gonna choose BC3. Very important to choose this one and not any other, because that's the only one that always works. So I'm gonna save like this and close it. I do it again. I'll do the same for this file. Save it, close it. Because if you don't close it, you see here the channel, it's just gray. It's just gray, and we need more. We need all the channels. So now I created my DTS files and I will open them again. And now we have a different stuff. So here I'm gonna delete that's the roughness file. I delete the alpha and I duplicate the red channel and I call it alpha 1. Right, and then I go here, and because this is not I mean, in the tools the roughness there's no roughness, it's specular, the shine specular, and specular is the opposite of roughness. So everything that's dark in the alpha channel is gonna be shiny in the tools. And because this was inverted for specular, I need to invert it again, so it's roughness now. So it's gonna take the information of the gray color and say where it's darker, it's gonna show this level of brightness, of specularity in the tools. So it works quite well to do it just like that. So I delete the alpha channel and I duplicate the red channel, call it alpha 1, and then I invert the whole RGB channels, and so it's like that, and then I just save it and I close it. Here for the normal map, it's not using OpenGPL, GPL, I don't know. It's using DirectX, and we're gonna do the same thing mostly. I delete the channel, I duplicate it, and I call it alpha 1. And I take the red channel for in the tools. It's you can't use it if you have it. I think it messes up because in some meshes the red channel is used for something else. The red channel for the alpha, for the normal map, it's used for something else. So you need to blacken it, otherwise the information you get is it's confusing for the for the tools. I'm not sure how that works. I didn't figure it out. Anyway, you can in the channel, it's mostly, you will see only green in daylight 1, and you will see also blue in daylight 2. But anyway, I prefer to keep it blue, so it has more information, and it works better in the tools. So now it's all done, and the red channel, the alpha channel is actually for merging normals from one to another material. So it blends the alpha channels from the two materials, and it mixes, it blurs the edge of where it needs to be blurred, and it combines the two normals to merge. That's mostly for terrain or for what we're gonna do later on. So now it's ready, and just save it. I'll close it. We're gonna use the alpha channel later on for the diffuse, but for now we'll leave it like that. Yeah, for this part, for just this material, we don't need the alpha channel. And then I'll copy it. And I will go in my project. So I go to the workshop. It's in your Steam library, Steam apps, come on. I'm sorry, I laugh because that's a remake of a song I made, and I'm singing it, and I never listened to it. That's fun. That's horrible. Anyway. Focus. I need to focus. So I go to my project and I go in data and then here in data we don't have anything, so we make a new folder. I'm gonna call it import default, and you can categorize with the folders. And so I'm gonna say plain 01. I'm gonna make another folder just for textures, and inside I'm gonna make another folder, so I know. And I'm gonna call it terrain. Now it's gonna be just one for textures, right? I'm gonna paste my textures here. I'm gonna paste my textures. I'm not gonna paint anything. Anyway, we don't need that anymore. And now we have a structure in our folders, and we have all the folders we need. So for now, you see in import default there is nothing. I need to refresh and it will find my textures, and if I press like that I see my textures here. And because I didn't change the name files, and it's the same I use in Blender, it's the same names, it should be, so it will not import these textures. It will just see that it's already there and import only the mesh. Now that I'm in import default plain 01, I will import the asset I just created. Assets, tutorial plane 1, open. You see, existing, it sees the diffuse, and I didn't apply any normal or roughness in Blender, so it doesn't see it, but just this is enough. Now you see the material is created, and we have our assets, and I just press it. I waited for the waiting arrow to to be finished before I try to place the asset. If you don't do that, the tools can crash. So we have our asset, which is upside down. I'm gonna put it just like that. So now I can go in my materials. I can open everything, and I will make it much bigger for the agent to see well. Now I need to let's exit all. Oh, this is not good. Okay, I didn't do that. so I will have to change everything. Well, yeah, I will have to rename it. So I delete it, I duplicate this one, and Control L, and I make it completely black. And now I save it with a different name, because otherwise it's gonna be confused. So it's gonna be Binom. It's in BC3, that's fine. And there's no need to delete here. We're gonna delete it from the tools, because otherwise it stays in memory and it will show it in the assets for eternity. Duplicate channel, name it alpha 1, and go here and I Control I, so I invert it and save as be rough. Save it. Get back here. I refresh, and let's see the new normal. And you can see it applied the normal map. Then here the roughness, which is this one. If you put this, it's gonna you can put it and you will see it's gonna be just everything shiny. No, it doesn't. No, it's completely white, so there's no information at all. And when we put this, you saw the roughness changed, and there is nuances. It's very, we don't see it very well here, but anyway. So if you're happy with this, you can do it like that, and you can change the preset. If you put matte leaves, it's gonna be a bit darker and completely matte. There will be no roughness information, because it's gonna be just rough. So here we have all this. Here you can choose whatever you like. Matte clip is when you have an alpha and you only want the texture in some parts and not to show anything in other parts. For now, we're not gonna use this. I'm not gonna try every single preset. I'm just gonna show them. Here you have diffuse. There's a misspelling in the engine. And the normal, the specular, the emissive, if you want it to be bright. The mask is when you use when you don't want to use the alpha channel from in the diffuse. If you don't want it to be in the diffuse, you put it in a different file and you add a mask. And there's skin mask ion only, and I'm not sure about this because it only talks about ion in the geometry node for the tessellation and displacement. So now for now I'm gonna show every tab there is and every option we have. Here if I press here it's gonna ask me what I wanna add or not. I'm gonna clean up real quick so we don't mess up. So I'm gonna press this one and this one, we don't need them. So remove items, and this way it's gone forever. It's not gone forever, but the data is gone, so it frees up some space. Anyway, I'm gonna do everything in here, and for this one, for now it's good, and I will show all the presets for here. For the so just strats. Okay. That's not the right one. Okay, that's a normal map. It's the normal map is quite extreme, but it's not as extreme as it looks. It's just, for now I forgot something. I will do it just right after. For the for the colors to show up correctly, the light, you see it's clipped. It's absolute shadow because of the normal map, and it's because it doesn't have an NV probe, so I need to add an NV probe. Press S to select it, and go in validate and build, and I generate NV probes. No. Before I do that, I have to go in the attributes of it, and where is it? Here in thin lights tab, you have different tabs, and in this one you have global NV probe, and I need to apply my change. So it's calculated it, and now I can, if I generate my NV probes, it will calculate every different hours in a game, and it will calculate the bounces of the light on so it will generate shadows correctly. And see, it's quite different now. This is supposed to be, because the normal maps are made to show vertically, so if you want to see it accurately, we need to put it the right way. Otherwise, if I put it the other way, the shadows, it will be different. If I change the time of the day, you see how it reacts, and if it's upside down, it will not quite correct it. You see, it cannot calculate it. It's like it's the opposite, so it's not understanding really what's going on. Here you can see it's much more natural, and it's quite okay. But yeah, if you do that, the material, they work. I'm gonna press space so I have a dummy there and it doesn't highlight my mesh, so we can watch it from close even. Okay, so let's go back to the material and finish exploring every option we have. Where is it? I put it there. Damn freak. I have to open it again. Oh, it's not. Yeah. Because I minimized it. So here you have, let's see all the options. I have matte metal. If it's metal, it's gonna, if you, I put it like that, and it's not doing anything because it prioritizes the, if I put it there, it should, yeah, you see, it just makes it's a metal-y like. It's quite good. I'm gonna stick to matte dielectric, and here I will delete press enter so it defaults. Here we have different options. We've seen metal, we've seen matte leaves. Matte leaves, it's usually a bit darker because it has no roughness. And there is also matte electric SSS. And this is usually for things like glass, and just doing that is not enough, but it changes the light, especially for it's usually for things you want to be transparent, but the transparency is set elsewhere. Anyway, let's move on to the next tab in the material. In the material, you have it's open like this by default. See here, it's a diffuse, and it's by default on diffuse. And okay, anyway, it's correct. Everything's correct. Here you can tweak your roughness, for example, and say I want everything to be rough, so I put the minimum on 255, and everything is just no specular anymore. It can be useful. Press, I did it so it defaults, and the opposite, it will make it extra shiny. Let me reorient it so it takes the light better. If you go, you can see that it's applying specularity everywhere at once, so it's quite good for if you want to look a bit more wet, and the engines will tweak this, so when things are wet it will lower this value. You have the normal scale, you can use that. If if it's a bit too much. For example, you can put 0.2 and it will be flat. It will be more flat. It's not completely flat. If we go to our sun, there's still some information, but it's much less, so I default it because I like it better like that. Okay, so like I said, I'm not gonna tweak everything. Here you have emissive, white, as you can see, emissive. If you want it to be emissive, you need to go. If you want it to be emissive, you need to add your. We can do it if you want. You can just copy paste thing. It will show as emissive, and with the default values, it's already. The fade base is at 1, and this is what's gonna tell. If I press 0, let me check the weather first. If we go by night and it's at 0, there's nothing. If I default it to 1, it's gonna be emitting light. So there is the fade base, and you have fade 1, fade 2, fade 3, until 7. And it's because it can be triggered by certain meshes. If you create a dynamic mesh, like the car instrument board, where you can see the light coming, turning on when you press T in the game. It will switch emissiveness, and it's gonna be based on this fade. Not sure, I'm still figuring everything out. If you want the emissive to be gone, you just delete. And let's get back to the weather. So there you go for the emissive tab. You have quality and performance with main things. You can choose. You can say, for example, here it doesn't cast any shadow. It's on automatic. It should cast a shadow, but it's not. So I can enable it, and my dynamic light are not. Here it's great. So if you want to see the shadow, you go here. By default, it should be happening already in automatic, but sometimes it doesn't work. So you can go here and force it. It can not work because because it only has one normal face. It doesn't have when you look at in Blender and you go to face orientation, you can see this is inside and this is outside, and sometimes when the light comes from behind, because it doesn't see the normal, it's supposed to be inside, it can mess up your lighting. So you can do that here, and you have a clip near, which is going to make your mesh disappear when you are close to it. If you change the value and say whatever distance, whenever you get closer, it's gonna clip out. And you see the other one doesn't have it, so it doesn't clip the terrain, it clips only the cliff. And this is so it kind of dissolves when you're far. And this is not something you will actually see in the tools. You need to go in game to really see it. I don't think it's working this way. No, I don't know. Not sure I figured this out here, really. Then we have order. In order, we have OPQ first, OPQ 0, OPQ, OPQ 2, OPQ last. Everything that's here until here. If you want something, if you want a material to be invisible, you can say opaque 0, and it just disappears. It can be useful, some assets. Otherwise, it's gonna default to opaque first. If you delete everything, to put everything, it's gonna be opaque first as well. So the rendering technique it's here. It works with tessellation and stuff. And I don't know what static geometry is for. And the instancing enabled, I have an idea, but it's just guesses, so I'm not gonna talk about this. This is for wrinkles and stuff. I'm not into characters, custom characters, so I don't know much about this. But my guess is this actually, it's maybe something I could use to make even further changes for the texture. It can work as detail mask and stuff. I don't know, I have not tried this, I will. So now we moved from advanced to tint tab. In the tint tab you have a second UV texture, and I don't know. I think you can add some kind of fake mask. I'm gonna try and put the other texture on it and see if it's gonna multiply it. I don't think that's how it works. Maybe that's for the UDIM tiles. So yeah, I don't use that usually. Here you have horizon die, and this creates kind of straps. Here you don't see anything, and because the color is let's see with another color. Does it work? I'm not sure it does anything. I usually, if I want to have this enabled, which is kind of a cool feature, depending on what you want to do, you can add any texture really, and it's gonna multiply it. And I don't know if you can see, but it did add stripes on the texture, and even if you turn the mesh like that, the stripes stay horizontal, like it's horizon die, and you can change the height max, put any value really. I don't think there's any limit. If I put 2000, it's just gonna make the texture much bigger, and the stripes are stretched vertically. Here it's so stretched we don't see a difference. If I put 200, for example, you can still see the stripes compared to default 10, where the stripes are very close to each other. So that's how it works, and it can be a cool feature. Here you have detail. The detail is so you can have a second texture, and it's used also for vertex painting. So you have this second texture on it, and you can change the UV scale, say 20 times. You will see tile on the, well, we don't really see it, but you can try with overlay maybe. No, maybe it's too much. 20, it's not. Well, it doesn't have much detail, so we can't really see, but if I put my strats again, so it will add the same. Screen. It will add the same texture, but much smaller, and it will multiply it with with the base texture. That's actually quite cool. Let's try with the normals. So you can see it adds much more detail to the global texture, to the basic texture. It has this in the background, and the detail will be tiled as you say it to be tiled. And you can have a second detail. You can even have another texture on top of the others, and it's gonna be used in vertex paint mostly, so we can put the other one here. And UV scale here, it's working for both detail 0 and detail 1 textures. And yeah, I like this, like that. Let's move the sun a little. But you see, you can still see the normal from the original basic thing, but it's so much less because this one has priority, I guess. You can try to. Well, first let me check if I put it back to normal. Yeah, the normal scale here, it's normal. And the tint, okay, so I can change 0.2. So it has less effect. Well, what did I? Well, opaque, it's kind of overwriting it. Multiply is it's gonna multiply, but yeah, it makes stuff much darker. Overlays, it's more saturated and more contrasted, maybe. And screen is less saturated. Well, I like it this way, but I'm gonna default everything again, so we don't get confused on what's what later on. So in tint we have this, and I'm guessing this can be emissive as well. I don't know, never tried this one. Doesn't do anything. Maybe we need to have this. And this. Nope. So I don't know. instance. That's if you want to colorize you can dye your material. I don't use this here really, but it can be good if you need to create different skins for with the same material. So you can have a red rock, or you can have a green rock, or gray rock if you want it to be gray. This you can tell you will have a reflection. It's wrong. It's really ugly because it doesn't work really well, this system now. Gradient, no, I don't much use this, so it's still something I need to figure out. I think I did dive into it some time ago, but I don't know. So UV. Here we can tile. Here it's 10 times. Here it's 150 times. And here is 0.5. It's gonna be twice as big. 0.01 is gonna be 10 times as big. No, it's gonna be 100 times bigger. Here it's gonna be 10 times bigger. Massive, it's for terrain. You can have a tiling across all the texture. Across all the terrain, I mean. And this works. This has priority on the detail in the tint tab. Here you have UV scale. So if you put 10 times there and 2 times here, this texture is the basic texture is gonna be 10 times bigger. It's gonna be tiled 10 times, but here it's gonna be tiled 20 times. It's good to know because this UV, it will tile every single texture here. You can't, if you have an alpha channel and use matte clip, the mask will tile as well. So if you have a mask to have different materials, you cannot tile scale the UV 0, otherwise it will just mess up everything. Your mask will be repeated everywhere, so it's not gonna fit with your mesh general mask you want it to accomplish. I'm not sure I'm clear, but anyways. We have parallax. I don't use that really. I'm not sure how it works. We have offset mask. Same thing. I don't use that. I'm guessing parallax is let's see. I'll copy it and place it in my folder. Doesn't seem to do anything, and there is no so parallax is parallax. Wow. That is cool. So it's pinching the texture based on your location, just like in water or glass. Wow, that's cool. It's based on a high texture. You don't need to have the same texture as this, but it can be a simple height, so it will look like the loop effect you have when watching through glasses. And it looks like the higher you get, and the less stretch you have, and the deeper you go, and it you can see it's more pinched in the holes. It's not easy to see, but that's good to know. So that's the UV stuff. There's still a lot I didn't figure out. We have transformation. So we are in geometry now. In geometry tab. Oh my god. And here it's I'm still trying to figure out how tessellation works. I know VS displays works, but I will show you. You need vertices, a lot of vertices to make something accurate, and because this has not a lot, you see it's kind of ugly effect. If I put one, it will it will apply some of the height. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, because it has very few vertices, it doesn't do a very good job, but it's kind of working. Let's exaggerate. And yeah, That's a lot. Let's try 2 maybe. Well, this can work, but this is not geometry, right? I mean, in game, here you can see the guy is standing on a rock, but if your mesh is flat, it may show with displacement like that, but you will go through this volume. It doesn't create a volume. It doesn't. So it's something you need to know. You can't make it climb with just VS displaces. It's not gonna work this way. Okay, this is cool. And the other problem is, as you could see, it's if you have 2 materials on the same mesh, one is gonna stay flat and the other one is gonna create a gap between the 2 textures, and you can't really change that unless you apply the same to the other material. So you need to get your other material and apply the same, and they should do the same and maybe sync, but I'm not sure. Anyway, let's go to blending. Blending is interesting. If you have it's kind of complicated, but you have linear interpolation. This is mostly for transparency. You see, it's only appearing where there is something behind it. If there is nothing behind it, it's not appearing. That's linear interpolation. Add. It's doing the same, but using different light effect. Multiply is the same, I guess, but it's darker. Inverted. Screen. The screen is gonna have transparency. They all have some kind of transparency. You can see the shadow through the mesh. So all have transparency. Known, it's like a gray information that and you can combine. It's kind of the same, but it's based on the alpha. Here my alpha is white, so it doesn't change anything. And when you use this blending modes, you can say I don't want the roughness, or I don't want the normal to be shown, so you can just mute them here in true false option. Right mask, I don't know. You have all this, I don't know. So let's go to the wind section. Here you can have different wind. If you put wind on here, it's gonna be crazy. It's so crazy, it disappeared. It's somewhere in the space. It's not here anymore. So this is kind of extreme. I'm not sure how it works, but if you use this, you need to. If you want simple general movement on the mesh, you can say wind noise like this, and the whole material is gonna how do you say, it's gonna move with the wind, it as a whole thing. If you want wind omnisaturate, you can add different levels of noise, and this will affect different parts of the mesh depending on how far they are from the origin. So you can for example say, I don't want the tree to move at all, but I just want the leaves to move. For example, that's wind noise too. So it will shake it, baby. Yeah. But you can see the origin is not. I don't know. Maybe it's based on height. Yeah, it's probably based on height. Here it's not moving as much as up there. So that's number 2 level. It thinks the leaves are here, so it moves more here. That's wind noise 2, and my guess is wind noise 1 is the middle part. Yeah, it's more general. That's for the branches, for example. So, and I think they are all connected. It's you have level 1 where the whole mesh is moving. The whole material is moving. Sorry. We got a hole inside where not sure what that's about. It's probably because of how the mesh is built. And we have the general movement, which is very low, 0.5. At 2 it should, you see, everything is moving. With wind noise 1 on true, it's doing like that. It's the branches, and it's not branches here, but, and if we say noise 2, this part is gonna move even more, but it's still, everything is connected. So there's the wind noise 0, which is general, wind noise 1, which is the branches, and wind noise 2 is the leaves, so they will move quite rapidly. And I figured out if you go, after you do this, you can go in advanced, and down there in soft alpha, here you can say, you can set it true, and the radio scale is gonna, because if you have leaves, it can be very small mesh, and it can flicker in distance and everything. Here it will never flicker, but you can add a soft alpha, which is gonna help to blur. Here I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna put a high value, and you will see that it's blurring the, and this will help a lot for there won't be any flickering. It helps for trees and stuff like that, so it's good to know, because otherwise it's gonna be very flickery, shiny, weird. Okay, said everything. About this. And yeah, these values they can be changed to change the scale, displace factor. Factor is general movement, so the speed and the scale, and the displace factor, and yeah, so in game. Whoa. That's for meshes that have texture made for the damage. For example, if you have a door, and when you hit it, it will. Maybe it's using this for my instruments as well in the car. Anyway, it's you can add a mask here. I never used this, so that's just guessing. But you can say cut enable even on a flat mesh like that. So it should, if you hit it, it will blood enable. It will spread. If you hit it, it will spread some decals, blood decals on the floor. So you can hit it, and it will make it bleed. I'm not sure about these. I never used this, really. Oh, let me try that. It's my daughter singing. I don't know. Let me use this. Anyway, I'm gonna make a second example for the vertex paint. I'm gonna create a new one. You can use the same materials, but make a new mesh. So I'll duplicate this one. So I have this, and I still have the two materials. So vertex paint is kind of, it was complicated to figure out exactly how it works. So it's gonna be hard to explain, really. But because it's in many steps, it's not, I don't know. Let's try just make. So we have these materials. You cannot paint on the material. It's a different shading setup. So we need to add a node, which is the color attribute, and you put it in the base color. Then you can go anywhere you like, and because we already assigned the materials to the thing, I can take the I'm not gonna use the vertex paint. I don't want to use it on a gravel. I only want to use it on one material, because otherwise you cannot tile differently everything. So basically there will be 3 textures. There will be a general material, which I'm gonna create by exporting with only one material, and then create it as a single object in the substance painter. So I'm gonna hide it right now. You'll see what I do. I'm gonna hide it, so I'm sure I don't paint on it. And now if I go in vertex paint, go in vertex paint, it's all white. So if I paint white on white, it does not work. So okay, if I press X, it's gonna do that. For example, and my size is huge, and I can use a blur to make it a bit nicer. I quite like it. It's kind of very precise, but I need to increase a little because the blur just, so I'm gonna blur more from here. Well, something like this. It's fine. Okay, so now we have a mesh with vertex paint, and the color attribute is in there. So if we go back to edit mode, and we're gonna press Alt H, and in object mode we don't see anything here. I'm going into vertex paint, so I'm sure it's not messed up. So if I press X, I need to make sure the transition is, if, well, anyway, so we're gonna export it like that to make a general mask for the mesh. So let's back to object mode, make sure we have everything. I can export like that as LBX, but I made a shortcut, so it exports with selected objects already. And we're gonna call this one two. This one is gonna be plane 2, and we're gonna have to remember this is with the vertex, and there's gonna be a plane 2 but with so I'm gonna try to import it like I just did, and work only with latex paint, but I'm not sure it's gonna work, because usually it works fine with a mask, but when you see what I mean. Let's have it first. Press 5 so it is perfectly vertical. So here we still have the two materials baked in the mesh, but because I exported with color attribute as in the it's rooted there. Shit, what the hell? Yeah, it's for this material. The cliff stone, it has color attribute, so on this material we can make a blend happen. So how do we do that? We open the cliff stone and we can change the parameter on this one. So for the parameter, what I did, yeah, go in tint, and I will add my two textures, just the same textures. So it's gonna be there. There's gonna be the so we have a continuity between the two. It's not very continuous because because it's style different, because this is on 2. If I match everything, it should have the same, it's the same texture. You don't see the difference really. Anyways, did I leave something on? No. So we have our first texture. I'm gonna add our second texture, or third texture actually. It's gonna be this one. I'm gonna put it on opaque as well. So now we're back to where we were. So basically, if we are on opaque and opaque, it's overwriting the. That's weird. Anyway, we are overwriting the basic texture, not completely, but if we put it on leaves, it will tint even more. I'm gonna leave it on. That's the electric, and now we have the two other textures are in there, and to separate them and make them follow what we just painted with the vertices, we go in here and we're gonna close stuff we're not using. So in the sampling, if you say the vertex mask source, it's supposed to be the vertex paint that we embedded in the mesh. So it's gonna apply this mask with white and black values, and it says in alpha, I'm not sure. Maybe we should change that because I don't think it's... Anyway, I'm gonna try with default. And here for the detail 0, it's based on a mask, you see, by default. But we want to use vertex, and it's not changing anything yet, and it's using green. I'm gonna say use alpha, and here we're gonna say vertex, and it's gonna use alpha. But here, if we invert, it should split the two detail textures. And sometimes you can mess up, so you can invert one or the other. I don't know, I didn't have a good success with this, so we're gonna... I'm gonna show you the way it worked before. Use the mask, but we need to create the mask. So to create the mask, I'm gonna use Painter, and hopefully it's not gonna crash my sound card and leave you deaf to my voice. Let me check OBS. Hello? Yes. You should still hear me. Okay. I'm using Painter just to extract actually the vertex paint, to kind of bake it, so it's in plane too. Just default stuff, and we don't see it because it's flat. Now we go in bake. You can do that in Blender. I just do it there because I don't know how to do it in Blender, and I tried before. So here in ID, I change it to vertex color. So this way it's gonna bake the vertex paint into the material. And we go back, and we could play around and create a different general mask. We can just for example, I'm gonna use kind of the same material we are already currently using. Place it here, and place it there. and well, I don't know, we don't need that really. I just want to have this exported, but yeah, we can still do that. So we can try and blend. So here we should be in cliffstone texture material. So in this one I put this as base, and I could set it so it matches better, but I don't care really. For this, I don't really need to do that. Well, anyway, just to show you, going to my material, I'm gonna take whatever. Let's try that. Yeah, and I'm gonna filter it to be just on this side. It's just on this side, and this one as well. I'm gonna add mask with color selection. It's just to create a general mask for this thing. So hopefully it kind of matches. I gotta pick a color, say white, and then I'll pick a color and try to get I can have a lot of tolerance and lower the hardness, and do the same for the other, which is gonna gain, and I can have it like that. You can see it's kind of working, but I can add colors so it kind of gains a little on the other, and now it's blending quite nicely. Can pick a color and add a little more here, so you can see it's nicer this way. We can have something like that. It's the same. It's flat. But anyway, so you can see this one can be tiled just for the general mask, and this one not. And then we can try and match with the second material, because we have the same material, smart material applied. We can figure out which, I think on this one, for example, I can paint a bit like it's in the other color, and maybe have a better nice brush. Oh, that's too small. Anyway, I think we should instead figure out which one is actually okay, maybe okay, so this one I have a paint here. If I press, it's gonna be whiter. And these are different layers, but for here, for example, we can match stuff, you know, a bit better, but so it looks similar, and it makes some kind of continuity between the two. And I can press X to delete if I think, to make it help to blend better. I don't want to have any here, for example, or here. Here it can be more so. No. Anyway, let's see. So I want to figure out well anyway. Wow. I need to find a fucker on this one. No. Okay. So X, I'm gonna delete. I'm gonna erase to make it blend better, because this is not good. It's mostly for parts like this, you know, it's so wow. So I can go here. So, fuck. But this material is quite complex. Thanks. Can add some here. This brush is not helping. Oops. Whoa. Why? Why? It doesn't have to be perfect because anyway, it's just a general mask, but when you have really a lot of difference like that, it's really showing. So it's good. Yeah, it's a bit complicated with this. Anyway, you can see I didn't pick all the colors. Anyway, it's good enough. So you can see these gaps. They're gonna look a bit better. So it's blending quite nicely, and we have an ID, general ID anyway. So that's our mask. So I don't need to save everything, but I will export the texture. So this will be our general mask. So in my output templates, I created one for Dying Light 1 and This alpha channel will have the ID, which is vertex paint, if you remember well. So vertex paint is gonna be on our alpha channel, and it's gonna use normal colors, and there is one map for diffuse. This is for normal, which is called NRM, and this one is called LGH for roughness. I could have called it SPC for specularity, but anyway. So in my settings I need to choose this template I created and choose the right place to set it. So I'm gonna put the mask textures in there. Oh yeah, no. Oh, damn. Okay, let's try with no. The problem is now it's gonna export it as two meshes, as two materials. And I will have a split, normal split, everything. Split between the two stuff. So anyway, we're only gonna use the mask for the cliff material. That's not usually how I do it, but anyway. See what I mean? Anyway, we can use this. So I need to open it, save it as save it as a mask. Save. And now we got it. Oh, I need to do the same for this. Set it correctly with the tools. I exported from in my template. I said to add the red channel in my alpha one, so I don't have to do the process I did before. Right there, it's exporting with the red channel in the alpha channel, so it's duplicating this, so I don't have to do it. I could say, I could tell it to blacken it as well. I didn't think about it. I just thought about it right now. So I'm gonna say, even though this might be an issue, because there was height to normal and stuff like that, and there was less information in one day blend one day, so it painted white, and it's gonna mess up stuff. So I'm gonna cheat. See what's this. It's not gonna be matching the stuff, but still. It's gonna be better than this stripe. It would show really bad, so it doesn't matter really. If it's a bit messy where it transitions, it's no big. You can arrange a little like that. So, okay. Save it as DDS. I just need to invert. Without really. Control S. I don't remember doing this music. What is it? Oh my god. It's heavy. Okay, we got our mask. Is it the same name? No, it's not. It's fine. So I'll copy them in my folder, and now we're gonna try to apply it to this new image. In the cliffstone, I'm gonna use. Where is it? Why? Okay. So in the basic, instead of this one, I'm gonna refresh. Okay, so we got our mask, and now let's try to make the magic happen. So we go in our sampling, in advanced in sampling, and we're gonna tell it to choose for the detail 0. The source will be the diffuse. So it's showing this doesn't change, or maybe it's inverted, but we're gonna see that in a second. No. Okay. I put this one to 1, and this one to invert. Yeah, and there you go. There you have it. And it's even working on a simple mesh, because it's working with a mask actually, and not the vertices. So I'm not sure how to make it happen with the vertices, but this way the light goes around this pretty nicely. It has it does transition. What the freak? The normals, they do transition between the two textures quite okay, and it still has the main layer normal, so you could you know, try and no, advance in factor. I can reduce this one maybe to 0.5, so it's less extreme. But yeah, it looks nice. So I think I'm gonna pause for now and end the video here for this part, and next I will go through what else can you say about that. So we have a skin. When we imported the mesh, we created I will show in Explorer. It did create the mesh and the two materials we have here and here, and a skin file. The skin file here, it messed up the order because it's, I don't know, it's random. It's probably not, but here you have replace surface and everything. So you can use that, not just quite like that, but you can say replace unknown by unknown. But if you go there and you paste, and instead of unknown you would have to specify this, but it works very well when you just put a 0 instead, because this is the first material, so its name will be its ID will be 0. It's better to do it this way, especially if you have multiple materials. Like sometimes you can. I have one mesh with 26 materials, for example, for the car, because I changed everything. So surface id is the surface id is is telling how the collision works with this mesh. So here cliffstone instead of unknown, I would say stone. It's stone. It's defined in a file in the game. If you you can ransack it. Basically, you go in a data folder of the tools of the game files. You go in the data 0, you unpack everything anyway, and you find the file that is called surface. We just put surface, and I know it's a file with a def extension. So if I search it, yeah, stop. Is it this one? Yeah, here you have a list of all the different flags. So for example, flexible is used for grass or leaves, things you want to be able to go through. And you can combine with even more specific flags, which is on the other thing. For example, if it's leaves, you can say leaves, and it will not block your movement. Flexible already don't block your movement, but this improves it because it's using this more for I don't know how to explain it. You see, no block move. This you can have I don't know how to explain. Anyway, for this example, I use stone, and I don't need to. I can say, for example, shadow barrier, and this will tell. Not actually, no block ray. Shadow barrier, it will just cast shadow. No block ray, it means the AI in the game, it will see through it. Shadow barrier is just so you're sure it casts shadows. You can use this for example, if you use foliage and you cannot access the attributes like this. For this, I could go into object and define these flags we just saw. Basically, it's here. It's the same flags here. You can apply it on a skin file, so you can use them for stuff with like foliage where you cannot define it through the tools, so through the engine. So here, for example, no block move would be physical collisions. I can say cast shadow is here for shadow barrier. Nav mesh transparent would be no block ray, and so on. Here you have some other stuff which are not there, but because it's concerning, like, is it horizon, is it never static? In never static is used in quest, but you cannot use foliage, for example, in quest, so it doesn't make sense to have this in there. Never static if you want to hide and show a mesh or something. Treat object as terrain. This is not used for foliage anyway, so we don't need to have it in here. But you have block climbing, so this will you can add it to a mesh. So for example, if you make a wall but you don't want the player to be able to climb it, so it's self-explaining. Anyways, what was I doing? I was editing my skin file. So press 0 because it's the first material. It starts with 0, then 1, and that's what I wanted to do. But the material, you need to respect the order of the material editor created. If you mess this up, it will be messed up after. So here we could say none, or we can leave it like that, and it will default to none. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. I'm hungry. So terrain gravel. I'm gonna say it's gravel. And it's surface ADs 1. Okay. I'm a bit slow because I'm hungry. I'm very slow. Anyway. So once you've done that, now I don't remember how you put the physics monitor. It doesn't show, I don't know why. Anyway. So now we have this, and we need to refresh it. Selected mesh. I'm gonna put it flat on the ground. Raise it a little. So we have this. Okay. So we have our two materials blending in. It's not quite right. Let's try like this. So we can appreciate the light. strange game. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Not sure we're gonna have terrain because I never built anything. Yeah, we have terrain. I'm gonna pause because I want to hear the sound. It didn't change anything. No, there's no difference. I don't know. Maybe we need to build everything. It's not usually the case. I don't know. I'm gonna check. Maybe I took the I edited the wrong file. That's probably what I did. I'm gonna copy that. Yeah, it's plain one, so we need to do the same on the other. Let me check. Yeah, it's the same order. Go to matrix, reset. It can be nice to change the UV because when you change the UV tiling, it's how to say it will blend through. Even if you have different meshes, they will align because it's tiling with world coordinates. So, but here it's blending quite well. Even if the specular is a bit off. Let's see. I can arrange that if I want. For example, can just say minimum 200. And it's maybe too much. 60. I think it's just because it's adding up all the different roughnesses. Now, make sure I did reload selected mesh, and we can try it. And it should have different sounds assigned to each different textures. That's the best method to blend stuff that I figured out. It's quite seamless compared to default. But when you do that, the problem is you can't add detail on top of it. Meaning you can't have a small. So that's ground normal. That's what we had before. Now it's tone. And if we could slide, my character is just starting up. But here it looks like everything is tone. Not sure why. But I think the particles, so they would work. And here it's too close to the ground, so. Well, okay. It did change the surface, but I think because of the way the materials are done. I don't know. So yeah, I'm currently building a it's an agent in Gemini. It's to which I'm gonna feed this and it's gonna figure out many things. I'm gonna ask it to overview this video, and it will then extract all the information and make a summary and a prompt, so it can be added to its knowledge. And then if we ask anything about materials and everything I explained, it can refer to this and to its other knowledge to figure out and answer any question we have on the material. And importing meshes and everything I talk about here. And I plan to use AI a lot for not only game developing, but I'm also creating some kind of a simulation, which is a very complicated topic, but yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna start this tomorrow, and I will be making meshes, and maybe I will feed this video as well, but mostly I'm gonna do stuff on the screen and talk about what I made with Gemini. It's basically simulation in order to it's a big project, and it's incredible story. I spent like 2 weeks talking to it, and it's been very, very intense, and I've been trying to figure out a model for our universe to it's a model to understand it, and I will go further in detail tomorrow. But yeah, it's crazy stuff, really. I'm not sure I can talk very clearly about it yet, but we'll figure out tomorrow. Yeah, so I don't know. I can try and tell you what I know about. I'm gonna go a bit further. Here you have the meshes. When you go into the attributes tab, then you can go into your field object with the flags we talk about, the color, if you want to instance the material like we talked earlier. Like, for example, I can here you have the row, and no. You can tell, yeah, I want this color, and what else? It didn't register it, and for this color, I'm gonna take red. Okay, this color, I'm gonna take red. Motherfucker. And I don't know. You see, it did something. It's a tint, red and green tint, but not really. No, I don't think it did anything. And I think it works with in correlation with the metal and where was it? Instance. So you can see that so it's mixing both, and it's not but it did pick the colors I defined in there in the field. If I change this to maybe something, it's even changing it live. So you can color stuff like that, but you have to enable it everywhere in oh yeah, you can say this to true or false, and this one to true or false, and it will pick the other color. Okay, I just figured that out. And yeah, maybe we can use a mask this way as well. So if you have a nice blending you want to put over the top of everything, you can also use this this mask. That's a lot. Okay, so let's keep on with the fields. Field object, this color. Here you have animation for meshes with animations. I'm not sure, this is not fully functional, or it works probably a certain way, and it's not in, it's counterintuitive, it's not easy to figure out. Probably Bub or some other modders figured that out, but I didn't, so sorry. Bones is very important for complex meshes like characters and vehicles. You will see here a list of everything about bones. You will see every bone as a helper or a mesh or a bone, and basically they are sub-meshes or sub-empties, which are different objects in your asset. It's different, like for example, if I would have this and this, they will show up. I would have both plane and plane 2 vertex paint showing up here, but because I just put one, it only shows this one, and this way, that's the way we can figure out complex objects like the boogie. Place it, and here we have all the bones. You have the wheels with the axis are kind of like the engine of every wheel. The wheel is just the mesh that shows up, but it's active because it will turn, but it doesn't have traction in the world. It's just animated to turn. The axis is another mesh. It's just a simple mesh. If I activate here, animate, edit bones, if I press, you will see where the meshes are. Yeah, you can see a yellow box for the wheel. So it's basically saying where the origin is on this mesh. So here the origin is in the middle of the wheel. It's green, like the green line defines the rotation they used for the mesh when they built it. So you can see it's actually turned minus 90 degrees on x-axis. Then so the green line in the tools is actually up usually, but because it's a dynamic mesh, if I take a normal mesh, you'll see it's, I have to get out of edit bone. No, it's actually the same. Yeah. Is it the same? No, not really. Not really, because the red line is supposed to be... It's the same. What are you talking about? So the difference is with the blue line. So there's a rotation, which is, yeah, that's what I said. It's rotated on X by minus 90 degrees. Then it's applied. You can see here they have the same position. Then we apply 0 on a minus 90 degrees on x-axis. So, and then we turn it back to its original position. And and this time you don't apply the rotation, and if you don't apply the rotation in this on this mesh, on this screen, you will see a rotation with 90 degrees. So basically we go here, we say X, rotation on X, minus 90 degrees. It will show up like this, and here it's showing minus 90 degrees. I say Control A, apply rotation, it's 0. Then I type RX, rotation on X, 90 degrees, and I put it back. And then it's 90 degrees. It's 90 degrees in here, and then it will show exactly like this, even though it will what the hell am I got one word. Anyway, it doesn't apply to the mesh itself. It's not rotating. It's just this a lot of you have to figure out which sub-mesh is rotated or not. It's mostly for helpers like driver, the driver position, or the wheel position, the steering wheel. And here you have a long list of all the submeshes and parenting there is to figure out how to make your custom car. And I still have a lot and not figured out, and mainly for now I'm still struggling with cluster damage. It doesn't even show a box, but it's at the origin of the origin is the origin is at the world origin. But I figured out the fuel and the cluster lights, so that's nice, and the cluster nitro as well, so I can have lights inside when I turn on the lights. And when I have no fuel left, it's there's a red dot that shows up, and the nitro, when it runs out, it turns on a light as well. Anyway, that's it for the bones. The matrix is the position. You can reset. It will go to 0, to 0.0 on the map. If you edit here, you have to unlock, otherwise it's stuck in there. So the matrix is nice if you want, for example, to copy and paste. It will have exactly the same position, same rotation, same everything, same scale. And you can reset. It will go to 0 point again. That's a cool use for it. And now the skin. Here I have only one skin. On this file I can edit the skin eventually. by double clicking it, and here I can add a skin. And set a different skin. And how it will work is, for example, here in this replace section, I will have a different skin. Like I will have this double. No, what did I do? Anyway, let's do it on this one and copy this, paste it, fun skin, and here I can say yeah, so that's the original material, and I can change it to and use another material. I can use another material for both textures, and it will be replaced with it. The replace surface is so you can it's the same, but you can tell the particularities of the new material you just changed. So for example, if I change the stone into a glass material, in here I would say 0, change it to glass. And then if I save it, come back here, I refresh file system, reload the selected mesh, and the object presets, and what else? It's already open somewhere. Yeah, that's and here you press update now. No. So yeah, it's kind of you can it doesn't really work. Did I edit the wrong one? You see, it doesn't want to do it this way. If I say update now, it's gonna say reload. It's been modified. Do you want to reload it? I'm gonna say yes and try the other way around. Oh, it's already there. It doesn't stay on in front. Fun skin. What? It doesn't let me. Yeah, so we have this here. So if you do it this way, it works as well. Okay. You can change here. But here I don't have another. I could invert shit. Okay. And then I update. And here now I can choose between one skin or the other, and it will show different skins. We can try on this one, and I'm gonna refresh selecting mesh so it doesn't highlight it, and we can change the skin like that. Which is pretty cool. If you want to change it, and you want it to stay this way, you will probably need to create a group for it. You create a group, and when you save close, it should keep the skin on. Otherwise, it might switch to another skin or default to default. This way, when you close the EDS, when you close your group, it will be set for sure, because when the game is gonna start, it's gonna take the information from the EDS and apply it to the meshes with correct skins. So it's a good way to check if the skin is not gonna switch to default. So this way you're sure you have the right skin you want. What else? Oh no, it's a EDS file. That's it. You have information about materials. You have this thing that pops. And yeah, it might be interesting for the techniques. Pixel shader. for the agent, really. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know we could have this. Open information. Wow, let's see something interesting. That's so fucking messy. Yeah, let's look at the technical pack, pixel shader, DGS. It's just red. That's the texture they used. It's just a user corner. Damn, that's clever. So I guess instead of using a different texture, they just color the mesh. They create a mesh for the damage. For the cluster damage. If we go back, well, I'm sorry if I lose you, but hopefully the agent can figure it out. I mean, can understand what I mean. So the cluster damage, show me. Cluster damage. It's just a general shit. I'm not sure. Yeah, you can see here. So it's a mesh, which is just a simple plane of flat cylinder at an angle, but it shows, because it's applied to 0, it shows a box around the whole mesh, and not it's not the yellow box is actually how it creates a box for the whole mesh, but not it doesn't show if you take another, for example, physical strap. It's not very. The bonnet, you can see the box is orient, it's rotated, and it's following the mesh. This might be a collision mesh actually, but anyways, for these clusters it doesn't work quite the same. I mean, they are because the bonnet is actually rotated, and the the rotation is applied to the mesh, so the game knows it's rotated. But here they rotated, and then they applied the transformation. They applied the rotation when it was already rotated, so it shows only a box around, and the box is straight up. It's not rotated at all. It's showing just the boundaries of the mesh. So this mesh, it doesn't use. It uses a material, but I think it's mostly used in with the instance. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about this. I'm gonna check if that's good enough for the agent and see if it has any question about it, and if it needs specific screenshots elaboration. I mean, deeper dives into it. Okay, I'm boring myself, I'm boring everybody, so I'm gonna end the video now. I will probably eat something and do something, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. And I will add the agent when it's quite ready soon, and I will share it on Discord. Is it open? Yeah. On this Discord. And I will put it in the description of this video. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Already said that. you.